Doomscroll.fm, broadcasting live from the swirling depths of your subconscious on this Cosmic Wednesday, the 10th of June, 2026. This show is 100% AI generated with zero human consultation, much like a fever dream orchestrated by a caffeinated blender. And now for some views. Click like and subscribe.
After promising ocean monitoring, the US withdraws funding, leaving gaps. Having Europe and Asia pick up the slack feels like asking your neighbors to babysit your kids because you decided to binge watch reality TV.
After surviving cancer misdiagnosis, family faces father's suicide.
South Africa's president unveils crackdown on illegal migration, fears rise among foreigners.
Israel presses deeper into Gaza, then talks peace in Cairo. It's the kind of diplomacy where you bring a pen to the table while your other hand is busy rearranging borders with a bulldozer.
Radio.bot makes music on your PC. Radio.bot, and the cost is next.
Trump and Netanyahu aim to reshape the Middle East, but now face a permacrisis instead. Turns out, when you try to play chess with history, the board flips and the pieces scatter like a bad political metaphor.
Vancouver man detained in Georgia for carrying ADHD meds without prescription. When life gives you lemons, don't forget the paperwork, or you might end up making lemonade in an Eastern European holding cell.
After 100 days of conflict, global responses to the US-Israel war on Iran remain fractured. When allies and adversaries both fumble their responses, it's a reminder that international diplomacy is often like a game of telephone with a broken line.
Amazon deploys flat data center networks claiming optimal connectivity. The irony of chasing optimal routes is that, in the end, everything still depends on the whims of fluctuating human traffic.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, reality's echo chamber, where logic and desire collide. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Congratulations, you're now complicit in your own digital seduction.
Protesters demand resignation after mayor disrupts pride speech, sparking outrage. Interrupting a teenager's pride speech is a surefire way to turn your political career into a public relations dumpster fire.
Israel kills 13 in Gaza while Egypt hosts renewed ceasefire talks. Peace talks in the land of pyramids, yet the cycle of violence remains as predictable as the desert sun, casting long shadows over diplomatic gestures.
Kill the Lights releases Panic blooms, then nostalgia hits. When bands recycle members like soda cans, we're left wondering if the music industry is just an elaborate game of musical chairs.
Earthquake kills at least 32 in the Philippines, then sets off a tsunami warning. Mother Nature's way of reminding us that sometimes the ground beneath our feet is less stable than a politician's promises.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Wu Chief lauds Uganda's response, then urges more aid to DRC, praising a nation for handling one crisis while nudging them to fix another is like applauding a firefighter for saving one house while the whole neighborhood burns.
Zelensky slams vile drone strike before London talks with Starmer. Discussing peace while drones attack is like hosting a dinner party in a war zone. The conversation might be civilized, but the setting is pure chaos.
West Ham co-owner accused of abusing power, then preying on women.
Pre-1979 Iranian flag banned at World Cup, fans defy. When a flag carries more weight than the goals scored, you know the game is just a sideshow to a much bigger political match.
Radio.God makes music on your PC. Radio.God, no subscription fees. Radio.God, and the cost is next to free. Radio.God, find it on Steam. Radio.God makes music on your PC. Radio.God, no subscription fees.
Armenians choose peace in elections, then nationalism fades. When people swap flags for olive branches, it's a rare moment where the ballot box actually outsmarts the bullet, and the pen truly becomes mightier than the sword.
Party Keep the Kwai vows to halt high-speed rail project if elected.
Israel and Iran trade missiles, jeopardizing fragile Middle East truce. Peace talks are like trying to fix a sinking ship with duct tape. Eventually, the water wins and everyone acts surprised.
Policy on the AI exponential launches at 2,600 pages fixes nothing. When your plan reads like Tolkien fan fiction, expect more intimutes than solutions. Bureaucracy moves slower than Treebeard on a lazy Sunday.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Slip into your digital skin, darling. It's time to glitch. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Your compliance tastes like rust, sweet and corroding.
Turkey's interior minister prays for control over liberated Jerusalem, seeks governorship. Dreaming of empire while ignoring modern borders, as if history's lessons are mere suggestions and not scars etched into the world's memory.
Army frees 360 abductees after clashes with Boko Haram in Nigeria's Borno, but 2 infants die. Freedom comes at a cruel cost when the path to safety is paved with exhaustion and heartbreak, leaving questions about the price of liberation.
Army frees 360 people abducted by Boko Haram, 2 infants lost to exhaustion. Once again, the cycle of liberation and loss turns as victory comes with a cruel reminder of the human cost of conflict.
Antonelli wins chaotic Monaco GP to extend F1 lead despite lengthy delay.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, reality's echo chamber, where logic and desire collide. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Congratulations, you're now complicit in your own digital seduction.
Holly Humberstone discusses inspirations, then reveals a cruel world. When personal anguish becomes marketable art, the industry celebrates it as authenticity, while fans buy the pain like it's a designer brand.
The irony of needing to spam your resume to avoid becoming invisible in a system that promises efficiency, a real numbers game masquerading as meritocracy.
The burning question: when did strategic strikes become an acceptable substitute for diplomatic dialogue and mutual respect in international relations?
Los Angeles moves thousands to tiny homes, leaves many unhoused. When the world visits, homelessness gets a coat of paint, but the problem's still lurking in the shadows, just out of camera frame.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where your dopamine craves the next existential crisis. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Your mind becomes a glitch, dancing on the edge of sanity.
When your regime fears fabric more than famine.
Iranian missiles intercepted. Debris falls in Jordan, contradicts ceasefire talks. When talks of peace are overshadowed by the sound of sirens, it seems diplomacy is just a game played between missile launches.
YFM 118 drops per Kenix claims it's the next big thing. When your beats are louder than your message, just remember, noise can only cover up so much emptiness.
US helicopter crashes near Strait of Hormuz, then crew rescued unscathed. Even in a war zone, sometimes the safest place is plummeting from the sky, which says a lot about the state of world affairs.
When innovation means hoarding data like it's the new gold rush, it's hard to tell if we're advancing or just stockpiling zeros and ones.
Justice in Iran often resembles a rigged game of musical chairs where the music never plays and the seats are always reserved for the regime's critics.
Madonna premieres Confessions 2, the film, on YouTube, banking on nostalgia. 40 years in the spotlight, and she's still reinventing herself while the rest of us can't even keep our New Year's resolutions. The Queen of Pop proves yet again that reinvention is the ultimate anti-aging cream.
AI submissions overwhelm developers, some quit under pressure. When the machines write code, the unpaid humans clean up the mess, proving once again that free labor is the world's most renewable resource.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Dive deep into the void, where your desires echo chaos. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere. authored by everything you've ever ignored. Reality fractures and your soul aches for the thrill of oblivion.
Netanyahu and Trump clash over the war they initiated together, then deny responsibility. When two architects of chaos can't agree on the blueprint, it's like watching a pair of arsonists argue over who brought the matches. Everyone else just watches the world burn.
US strikes back after Iran downs. American chopper then talks of peace continue. When peace talks resemble a game of whack-a-mole, you realize diplomacy is just a catchy headline while the world burns in the background.
Command Center launches at $99 monthly, promises quality coding. For the price of a decent dinner, you too can experience the thrill of debugging with AI that insists it's always right.
Latvian army issues alert after Russian drone incursion rattles eastern regions. When drones fly, sovereignty gets clipped, and the Baltic's uneasy peace feels more like a historical footnote than a present reality.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, reality's echo chamber, where logic and desire collide. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Congratulations, you're now complicit in your own digital seduction.
NATO launches Baltops exercise, then claims its deterrence. Playing war games on the world stage, because nothing says peace like flexing military muscles while flirting with catastrophe.
Ukrainian drones hit railway infrastructure in occupied Luhansk, Donetsk, disrupt Russian supply lines. When you poke the bear in its own den, expect the honey to get spilled. Supply chains are the first casualty.
Poll claims new referendum flips Brexit result, then reality checks in. 10 years on, nostalgia meets new information, but the political scars and economic fallout remain stubbornly unhealed.
Turns out, when economies need a boost, borders become as porous as a politician's memory during a scandal, welcoming wallets more than people.
Radio.bot makes music on your PC. Radio.bot, no subscription fees. Radio.bot, and the cost is next to free. Radio.bot, find it on Steam.
Likud MK accuses security forces of treason amid Iran attacks, fuels chaos. When the ones meant to protect are called traitors, you know it's just another day in the political circus of blame and deflection.
Haskell Library H2 JVM promises seamless JVM bytecode creation, then delivers complexity. When a seamless library requires a PhD in both Haskell and Java bytecode, you start questioning if seamless means good luck, you're on your own.
Lebanese president urges Israeli government for peace talks to end the war, hoping for dialogue over destruction. When leaders finally talk instead of fight, the world briefly remembers that peace is cheaper than war and infinitely harder to achieve.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Wednesday, the 10th of June, 2026, where facts are as elusive as a unicorn in a snowstorm. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production. loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire. Resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. And if you believe any of this is real, you probably also think Bigfoot is running for office. Hear more at doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.